Brock Purdy, he gets his contract. And I'm torn on this because I always push back against the initial bullcrap that gets put out there by the agent.
Yep.
And it upsets me because the media becomes complicit in it, and they wave that flag even though they know damn well that's really not as good of a deal as it's being sold. So this isn't an attack on Purdy per se, but also putting the deal in context makes it seem like a more fair deal for the 49ers. Because if you just tell somebody out of the blue that Brock Purdy's getting $53 million a year, you know, some fans are like, yeah, that's great. And I think people who are slightly more astute, and me, would say $53 million is a little bit much. When you look at it as a 6-year deal that pays out $45 million per year, okay, that's far more reasonable. And that's what it is. And we need to get past, and I tried my damnedest to get people to understand. It's not an extension. There's never an extension. The old contract gets ripped up and it gets replaced with a new one. So a 5-year, $265 million extension doesn't kick in next year. He doesn't have to play for $5.346 million this year before he unlocks his extension. The old contract's gone. It gets subsumed into the new one. It's a 6-year deal with $265 plus $5.346, $270.346. It works out to $45 million per year. He's going to make a lot more than $5 million this year. That's why they do it. But so many people think they just staple the new contract onto the back of the existing one. And, Chris, you know how that goes.
Yeah, right.
They tear the old one up, and they give him a new one.
Yeah.
Every contract. There's never an extension in the NFL. The old contract's gone, and the new one takes its place.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I saw your breakdown immediately because I think that's what we all wanted to do. We were all kind of like interested. What is this final number going to be with Brock Purdy? When I saw originally the reports popping up on my phone, $53 million, I went, man, all right. That's a little much, but okay, fine. And then that's when you know, Dr. Kevorkian of the contracts comes to the rescue over there, Mike Florio, and you start to break it down.
I'd like to think it'd be something other than Dr. Kevorkian.
I don't know. It's early, and that's what came to my head, and you just said his name. All right, sorry. Yeah. It wasn't that personal. But either way, you dissect it, you get into it, and then I see kind of the breakdown and how you explain it and what you're saying right now, and you go, okay, yeah, $45 million a year, I can get behind that. And again, it's not to be disrespectful of Brock Purdy. It's just that where he is, Brock Purdy, I think it's fair to question how great he is. We've had this conversation. There's a lot of talent there. Yes, we like that. But how much is that predicated on Shanahan, the 49ers, what they've done there? Right? I mean, we saw just in last year, the team fell off a little bit. Maybe Shanahan didn't have his greatest year calling plays, whatever. Brock Purdy didn't, cover the holes. He made a few plays off schedule, maybe more than he did years before, but he missed more plays on schedule than he did the years before. Right? So that's where you were just, hey, this is interesting. This is a team that's kind of rebuilding on the fly. How much do they believe in this guy, Mr. Irrelevant? What are they going to really pay to him? And now we see, and now the 49ers got a pretty good clue what their future looks like, and they can start to reorganizing their team, as they see so.
You really disappoint me. You should just call me Dr. Doom. I mean,
you're right.
It's right
you're
there.
Right. You're right.
It's right there.
Kevorkian and Doom, they're cousins, aren't they? They're the same family. I think.
Well, same outcome.
Yeah,
same outcome. One's voluntary and one's involuntary. I think that would be the difference.
There we go.
I'm trying to think of doctors. We should have a draft of doctors we'd want to be. Dr. Doom, Dr. Doolittle, Dr. Love.
Yeah.
Dr. Love,
Dr. James Andrews.
70s. Yeah. Dr. Nick Riviera would be a doctor you don't want to be. And then, of course, there's Dr. Zayas. You have to be really old like me.
I don't know that one. Yeah, that's
Dr. Zayas was the bad guy in Planet of the Apes.
Okay, yeah, I would not have known that.
He was the guy that kept wanting to kill Charlton Heston.
Got you. Yeah.
Okay, so here's how this goes. This is the latest example of a tradition unlike any other for NFL contracts, and especially big money contracts, because what happens is, and look, Chris, I'll start with this. I'm minding my own business at 5 o'clock on Friday. I'm on my bike. I'm getting my workout in. I'm going to go pick up dinner for the family from a nice restaurant where we get once a month. We go get a nice meal. We're going to have a nice meal on Friday night. Jill's getting food for her parents, getting them taken care of, and then we're going to have dinner, and everything's planned out. And then all of a sudden, 5 o'clock on a Friday, the place where bad news goes to die, not where good news goes to thrive. that's when the Brock Purdy deal is hand-leaked by his agent to people in the media. And it's like, I mean, have we figured out nothing about basic PR? You don't drop something like this at 5 o'clock on a Friday. That's where you drop something you don't want people to notice.
Eat it,
and then
Florio.
it got me. Oh, but then it has me wondering.
Right.
Hey, it has me wondering.
Right.
Maybe they don't want people. Maybe they are trying to downplay a little bit. Maybe they're trying to, because $53 million. I thought they were going to throw some phony baloney back end. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. We see it every year with that fake final season that pushes the average up. I thought they would get it to 55-1.
Yeah, no.
Because 55-1 is where that's the highest number for anyone other than Dak Prescott and Josh Allen. I thought they'd get to 55-1. So 53 in and of itself, it ties him for 7th with Jared Goff. And so I don't, even the best number, it's like, given the current market, man, that's low. That's low. He's down at the bottom of the stack. There he is. He's either 7th or 8th. Tied for 7th in new money average, but when you see the deal, it'll give you a better understanding. And then, we scratch a little bit. We see it's 45. But what's going to happen is we won't really know the key factors, Chris. There's 3 of them. Signing bonus, full guarantee at signing,
right,
and cash flow over the first 3 years. And then the other reality is when you look at it, and this can be subject to interpretation, but when can the team get out of the deal? When can the team tear it up and move on? Sometimes it's after 2 years, sometimes it's after 3 years, sometimes it's after 1 year. I have a feeling this is going to be 2, maybe 3, but we'll see. And that's not out there yet. See, the agent doesn't like putting that stuff out there. The agent only wants the biggest number possible out there. Then once the contract is signed, it hasn't been signed yet, and once it's filed with the league and the union, that's when people get it and analyze it and tell the world what it's really worth. And it can be up to a week after the first report happened, and everybody's moved on by then. Nobody's paying attention. So that's what's strange about these contracts. It takes a while to get to the truth, and it's rare that someone will just gladly put all the details out there out of the gates and be proud of all the details. Usually they're proud of one detail, that new money average, and the rest of it, we'd rather no one notice.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's Mr. Irrelevant. There is something to be proud of. It's the last pick of the draft, and you're getting $53 million a year, right? He's come from a spot where he probably is going, wait, I never dreamt of a day like this when I got drafted last in the 7th round in the draft a few years ago. So there is that. There's the human element, right, we talk about. I also think he's probably a guy that's going, hey, wait, I know I'm not Josh Allen. I know I'm not Joe Burrow, that crew right there. Let's build the team around me here. I want to be a part of something. I do think Brock Purdy's one of those guys. I mean, that's what I hear from anybody out there in San Francisco. So am I shocked to hear that Brock Purdy didn't hold their feet over the fire for every last penny in the world or whatever? No, I'm not shocked to hear that. The final number, I hear you. I thought that might be finagled a little bit too. And then, hey, not only 53, but like you said, I mean, you do the math, you figure things out, what he's got there this year, blah, 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 boom, it's really 45. And that's surprising too. And would I say that's a little bit of a victory for the 49ers? Sure, I would. But I think it's a victory for all going forward here. Again, you take care of Brock Purdy. You're obviously showing, hey, you're really important. You're the most important player on our football team. We think you're real good. We're real good, but you got something to prove to us here still, too. You're not quite there. We saw the Super Bowl. There's limitations. We saw when we played the great Ravens at the end of the regular season that year. It wasn't that great. Hey, we saw when we were on the way to the Super Bowl, the Green Bay Packers game. I mean, really, they dropped 5 interceptions. You probably should have had a bunch. I don't know if you should have won that game. Hey, you did a great job against the Lions to bring us back. We got a little lucky, blah, blah, blah. But as we talked about, there was plays left on the field in the Super Bowl. We know there was plays left out on the field last year. So maybe that's where the give and take is a little bit here, let alone the bigger picture of the organization. He knows he's in a special spot with Shanahan, and Shanahan will do right by him if he continues to play at a high level.
And this is the basic reality.
Yeah.
There's no shame in being a middle-of-the-pack NFL quarterback.
That's right.
There's only 15 guys better than you in the world at playing quarterback in the National Football League. He's not a top 5 and never will be a top 5 guy. He's going to have to win some rings to get to the top 10. He hasn't won one yet, and he's had a few chances to do it. Now, one opportunity as a rookie was derailed by that fluke injury
Yep.
to the elbow that we completely forgot about last week when we were talking about serious playoff injuries.
Right.
But the idea that he's gone from the last pick in the draft to middle of the pack starting quarterback, that is hugely impressive.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we go get drunk and give the guy all the money. And I think that's the balance you and I have been trying to strike. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.